G'day friends, welcome to day 19 of Mermay 2024. I'm going to continue along my conversation from yesterday because, believe it or not, things did not get better. They did for a hot second, and then I think I'm kind of where I was yesterday right now, so just wait for the sirens to go by. Yeah, but I figured since we had that conversation yesterday, we can keep having it. And I just pulled up my YouTube because I was like, I'm gonna go look at the comments, see if there's anything that I can answer for people. But there are no questions really. The thing that kind of stuck out to me is that there's just so many different suggestions that I get from the creator end to monetize your channel. And it's like, earn more money this way, do this for more money, fan funding, get your subscribers to pay this and do that, and channel memberships and unlock super chats. And it's just like, I just for a split second was like, remember when YouTube didn't pay out? It wasn't for money. People made YouTube videos because they just wanted to share videos online. It was the only platform you could really do it for free, and people would gather and watch them. I just think it's just gone. Those days are gone. Maybe one day YouTube won't pay money anymore. It'd be a really interesting landscape to see what would happen if there was no financial incentive for a lot of creators to be on this social media app. I call it social media because you have a community you communicate with. You guys are watching and a lot of you comment. So I feel like it is social media to an extent, but it is a video sharing platform. And I guess they tried to do the shorts and compete with TikTok to varying degrees of success. I feel like I never click on a short. I made one and then just never did that again. So I think it ties into the conversation we're having yesterday, where I feel like I kind of left off, because one of the things that I feel like really pushed a lot of people into a bad place was the financial incentive to do whatever it was that struck gold on YouTube for them. And as I was talking about in this weight loss community that I was watching online and continue to watch, and the reaction channel community that surrounds that, and then the drama channel community that surrounds that, it's very layered. The thing that is really interesting to watch is the different stages of monetization and financial reward that people get. And one of the things that I found most interesting was the actual creator themselves. The way that the money led them into a certain place, and then the money that the reactors would earn from reacting to them, how it also kind of shaped the path out for them. I literally feel like people, and it makes sense, found what worked to get them, eyes and views and comments and clicks and likes and dislikes and all kinds of engagement, found what it was, struck their gold, and then just pushed forward in that direction. I mean, there are still a ton of channels that I come across that aren't even monetized, but are literally saying my goal is to get monetized. Please keep watching my videos. When I get monetized, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z things. I'm going to have channel memberships. I'm going to do live streams every day. I'm going to give out, rewards for my community members. And there are all different, it's like Patreon on here sometimes. You can go into someone's YouTube channel, you can subscribe to it for a dollar amount per month. They'll let you do these live streams that only you can chat in. Maybe everyone else can see them, but only you can do the chat. And then also, once it's finished, they'll put them behind the paywall. It'll be a members-only video, so that's locked. Now the public can't see it, only the members can see it. And then they can also give out these rewards as well. Some channels will say, hey, I've got a database of addresses. I send out postcards every month, or I'm going to send out a little souvenir from the places that I go to the top tier of my memberships. It really does kind of resemble Patreon in a sense. I don't think it's as versatile for a creator like me, but the option to monetize is there, and the way people go about it is a really interesting thing, and the way that it influences people to continue to create, or to create in a different way, or to really be unmotivated to create at all. And that's a specific point of interest that I find fascinating. So the first thing I'm going to kind of discuss is the thing that I thought, the mermaids, by the way, Maison Martin Margiela, the John Galliano show that was out recently. I put the Zendaya from the Met Gala one out on my Instagram already, but you'll see that soon. These were the first ones I did when that show just kind of happened. I think it was the day after I went and drew these mermaids. And I just took a straight up shot from, I think Stephen Meisel did a photo shoot of them backstage. And I just straight up took it and made them mermaids. At first I was going to try and make the fabric of the dresses and stuff the tail, but then I thought I just want to keep it as it is and kind of sketch it out, and then I put a tail underneath. So it is what it is. I was more curious to see if I could do the glass skin effect, because it was an interesting thought for like an underwater, you know, siren, a mermaid. She'd have that beautiful glossy glass looking skin. I don't think I did it very well, but I've since put in a photo reference. So if I ever go back, I think I'll look at the reference and try and get closer to it. I think the face was a little too small to do a good job at the glass skin. But either way, I had a fun time doing it. So that's really all that's important. And there's two. They're twins. So you can enjoy that as we chat. I love fashion illustration, by the way. So that's kind of why I wanted to do that. I get in the mood and I have to do it. The first type of that monetization that I thought I would mention is the one that I originally came across, which was kind of the worst way to be monetized. And it is essentially when you are rewarded for doing something bad. Because, and that's oversimplifying it, but if I can just be candid, I was watching someone who wanted to lose weight, who started a channel and wanted to lose hundreds of pounds, and for their health needed to lose hundreds of pounds. Like, it's not just a vanity thing, it was very much a health journey. And I'm only laughing because if you're a part of that world and you know what I'm talking about, the Gora world, journey is like a forbidden word, but what's a funny word? It essentially, over time, you know, the vlogs turned into a bit more of a personal situation, and you get closer as an audience when you start sharing personal stuff. So I was watching and I was thinking like, oh yeah, I really feel for this girl. Like, she really needs to do it. It's very obvious she's got struggles. You know, a lot of these are emotionally like deep-seated problems that are rearing their ugly head in these forms. And unfortunately, she has these diagnoses that are just really not easy to deal with. So I was curious. I was curious to see how it was all going to go. And then I saw that there were a bunch of people reacting to this channel, and I watched them because I was like, what are they saying? Why do they not seem like they're supportive? And then you would see that over time, you know, the way that she would share her life maybe was a little bit fabricated. Maybe there was some times where she'd say she was doing X, Y, and Z, and she was really doing A, B, and C. And then you would think, oh, I wonder why she's doing that. Why is she manipulating the view of what's going on? And then it's just human nature, really. Sometimes you don't want to reveal what's going on, so you put up a facade, and some people do it by just, you know, I do it by speaking about something completely different, so I don't actually have to speak about what's going on. Other people will just straight up fabricate a story to make sure that it doesn't come out. Other people will just not talk at all. There's a ton of ways you can kind of keep your personal stuff personal. Unfortunately, the way she decided to do it was just lie, and that doesn't tend to go over well with an audience. So, you know, when they come to know that she was lying, it becomes confrontational, and all of that becomes engaging. And, you know, there's kind of that boost in comments, and there's a lot of people disliking your video, which, to be fair, I mean, is just as valuable as a like sometimes. As long as people are engaging, YouTube is thinking people are interested. Like, they may not like it, but their eyes are on it, and that's what's important. Their eyes are on it and their fingers are clicking, so they're going to give you some financial reward for that. And you know, it was a lot of people. It was a huge group of people watching, and more people became fascinated, and they would tell their friends, and more people became fascinated. Then these reactors would react to it, and the people watching them would become fascinated. And then I was kind of in the same camp as a lot of people, where I couldn't get the drama fast enough. So I couldn't even wait for a reactor to watch. I would have to watch the original video. And a lot of the times they can be very drawn out. They can be very boring. Like, there's not a lot of content going on there. And you would just kind of be picking through the pieces to find any bit of like, what is really going on? Like, I really want to know what's going on. And then you eventually have the reactor who reacts, and you watch them and you chat in that community. I've never really chatted or taken part because the community itself can be quite hostile, but I love to watch it. And I just love to see how it all plays out. I'm kind of neutral. I don't really take anyone's side, but there are reactors that I think are more entertaining than others. And then there are some of the girls that I think are more entertaining than the others. And for me, it's really just about the entertainment. And I think for a lot of people, it's about the entertainment. Some people are fascinated, and I'm fascinated too. Some people love watching a train wreck, and that's good for that. Other time, I guess I should mention, they went on these weight loss journeys and put on weight. They did not lose the weight. Sometimes they did lose a significant amount of weight, but it was due to a really intense medical issue, very, very serious health condition, or straight up abusing a substance, let's say that in one case. It was a really, really interesting journey to watch. And so uh, people just more became fascinated. Like they're still saying that they're going to start this new diet. They're still saying, oh, I'm going to do this next, or this one didn't work for me, so I'm going to try being keto. Even though you're like, well, the thing that was easier than that didn't work for you, so this is definitely not going to work for you. It's harder. So we all think we know what's going on, but essentially we're going to watch anyway because that's a real human. They're just vlogging their life and they're putting it out there for us to watch, and we watch. And the views go up and down like this, when they really start to annoy people or when they really start to get people frustrated, ironically, the views go up. It's higher engagement. And then when they start to do well, I've noticed sometimes the views go down. Not as many people care if they're actually doing the right thing, and being on the journey they say they're going to be on, actually becoming healthier. Some people were there for it, and some people are encouraging all the way through. Other people are saying, oh, okay, well, I'll come back when you're drama again. Or some people just fall out of interest. They weren't really there for the weight loss in the first place. I know I certainly am not there to really watch if they lose weight or not. I'm just more curious about how they present their lives on social media and the actual impact that doing it is having on them. Because, like I said, the more negative it was or the worse things went, the more people engaged, the more money they made. And so there became this incentive that I don't know. I mean, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to say that they didn't know at first that they were being incentivized to do it, but then I have a really hard time thinking that, because as weight loss channels or as people who are on health journeys, there are certain things you would think you would never do, and they did those things, like mukbangs, the trend that started in Korea where you would just eat on camera. And it was, I think, originally intended, from what I remember, for people who felt lonely, that they could eat with somebody else, and it was kind of simulating that experience of eating with another person. And they would just chat about things, or sometimes they do it quietly, or there's ASMR sounds. I hate the sound of people eating, so that would never work for me. In fact, it's really hard for me to watch when the girls are like doing mukbangs or anything. Even when I'm watching reactors, I'm so thankful for the ones that don't leave all the eating noises in, because I have really triggered myself watching some of those videos. But those, like the mukbangs, they would do them. And I think originally it was kind of testing the waters. They were like, well, I'm going to eat this meal anyway. Or they thought it'd be a good idea to like, hey, this is what I'm going to show you in a day where I'm off track, where I'm not on my health journey, just because I know you guys are curious to see it. And we absolutely were curious to see it. Maybe we thought, okay, well, let this just be a one-time video. Like, we just need to see, we want to see, we don't need to, but we want to. We're curious, you're right. We all watch it, we're fascinated. Some of us are like, that doesn't seem like a lot, to be honest, for where you're at. Like, they would do the calories, like maintenance calories, weight loss calories, weight gain calories. And they were like, it didn't even hit the maintenance level. So how are you just eating that amount but not losing any weight? And it was all kinds of crazy. And then the mukbangs just kind of became more regular. And then they would come on here and say, well, I put on so much weight, whoops. I didn't know that was going to happen. And you're like, you were eating tons of food on camera and making money off of it. Like, that's the thing too. There were a lot more people that would watch the mukbangs. I don't know where that comes from. There's all types of communities out there that just enjoy watching things. It's certainly not my favorite content to watch, but the mukbangs did a really big number for a lot of people. So it was kind of this instant recipe for success, pardon the pun, but for them to eat on camera. And as people who were on camera to lose weight and become healthy, they were making the most amount of money doing the thing that was going to hurt them the most. And that type of monetization was the first for me. I didn't realize, I don't know where anyone else, like, you could do that in life. Maybe I just haven't thought further than the internet about that, but like, I've just not really seen people be given money to do things that makes their situation worse, and it's just more and more reward for more and more pain. Like, it was such a bizarre cycle to watch, and they're still in it. Like, let's be real, a lot of those channels that are still on their journeys are still doing things that they know are bad because they just need some money. I mean, at peak, I think I mentioned this yesterday, one of the women that I was watching, one of these channels, was stating that she made over $20,000 a month, which is an insane amount of money. And you can only imagine, like, if what we're seeing on camera is content created for this appeal, what is actually happening behind the scenes too? Like, this is not just, this is a struggle people have brought online and made public. What is the personal struggle? Because as much as I want to bring to you sometimes some of my real personal stories, like I said, like there's a whole bunch else that's going on behind the scenes and you will never know the half of it. So, and then I become fascinated with the other half of it. What's back there? And then we stay and we keep watching because eventually they start to reveal it, and it's just beyond what you could imagine. It's not just a problem with managing, how to eat healthily or how to eat in a way that's sustainable. It's severe emotional trauma. It's unbelievably difficult circumstances, mentally. It's abuse of substances sometimes. It's just unbelievable stuff. So YouTube comes in and says, here, have money. Thank you so much. You brought so many eyes to our platform, and we have been selling ads on your videos, and our ad partners are happy that so many people have clicked and watched, and here's your reward for that, $20,000 a month. Like, it's insane. I mean, why would you stop doing it? But there are people out there that are in that situation where essentially what they're doing is super harmful, and they're being really rewarded for it. And there are a lot of people who have different ideas about what would be the correct thing to do on YouTube's part, if that type of content was detrimental to their own health or promoted some really serious, unhealthy, disordered type experiences for others to view that might be triggered by that. Some people believe that YouTube should put a stop to it by demonetizing it. Or I think if you make videos now and you say that they're for children, those are demonetized. I think you can make a video 18 plus, but I don't think that demonetizes it. You would have to turn monetization off. But at the same time, YouTube can still monetize it. YouTube can still put an ad on it, even if you don't want it there. And they're going to do that if they want. They're going to sell that ad if there is some eyes on your video. So people say that it's kind of like an ethical issue that YouTube should deal with. Personally, I've seen other people say that it's a censorship thing and that, we should be allowed to put anything and everything out there. I think to a degree, I think it is sad. I think it is sad that in that specific circumstance, people are in a cycle perpetuating their own problems and being rewarded for doing it. I think it's sad that they found themselves there, but I do think it's their right to be able to do it. That's just my own personal opinion. I wouldn't step in there and do it because I don't know where to draw the line. I don't know at what other thing people are doing I would draw the line at and say, well, that's so unhealthy for people to watch, so I'm not going to let you monetize it. And then again, it's just from a business perspective, it's not really YouTube's responsibility. I mean, they gave you the platform, you're allowed to do what you want to do with it. That's your personal choice. So it's hard. That's my personal feelings about it. I know everyone's got a different feeling about it. Feel free to add yours in the comments if you want. But that's the type of monetization I found really interesting. The one that is kind of harmful. And then there is the other, I don't even know what I said at this point, but I mean, there's other time you're monetized for doing the work that you do, and you put out this package or this product, or you put yourself out there and people either themselves reward you with, a financial offering, or sound like I'm in church, your tithe, that's your membership, or YouTube will reward you for that too. And there's so many other ways to do that. And that to me gets a little, how do I want to say it? Like a little like this, like gimme. I don't like it. I don't want to go onto a live stream and have to deal with like super chats. And I think it would be a weird thing I don't mind it in other channels. I just think it'd be a weird thing for me. So when YouTube keeps telling me like, go live and offer super chats, no, I don't want to be live and have like people throw money at me. It's like busking, I guess, in a sense where that's where I think it makes sense for other people, but that just doesn't make sense for me. So I consider what would happen if I just went for all of this. If I just said, sure, I'm going to turn on channel memberships. And I said to you guys, hey, you can have the video every Friday, but on Saturday, they all become private members videos. So if you want to see them, you have to be a channel member, and it's going to be $5 a month. I mean, some people would do it, and I don't begrudge anyone else doing it. I just think that doesn't really line up with why I started doing this and what I want to be putting out there, which is accessible content that I enjoy doing that isn't related to me having to like, you know, work for money. Like it's not something that a product I'm offering I'm accountable to. I am accountable in my own head, but not to anyone's money. And that's different. I treat those things so differently. I'm pretty committed to both, but when you spend money with me, like I would do anything. I'll bend over backwards to make sure that you're not feeling taken advantage of. I guess in my own, if it's not money, I'll take advantage of you. No, but I just think it's more serious when money is involved. So that I feel like, no, I'm not going to put on a channel membership. And then the super chats, no, I really don't want to have to deal with that. I don't think it makes sense for me. Sure, it makes sense for other people. You know, when it was Patreon, I feel like that made sense because it was a whole experience. There was a structure to it. There was different type of content that I could offer. I could put up downloads that people could download and enjoy. A lot of it was tutorial based. Sure, I could do that on YouTube. I don't really want to, but like, again, if it's just for free and for fun, I'll put the Mermay tutorial out there. But it's not something that I sit down and actually plan out like crazy, like I would for my classes and my workshops and my Patreon offerings, like stuff like that. So if I think of it as a product, yeah, YouTube's really not the space for me to do that, but I do see other people doing it. And again, one of the people that I watched was offering channel memberships and said, you know, I will give you this in exchange for your channel membership, and a bunch of people did it and they never gave the thing. That is just outright scamming. Like, I don't know what else to call that. It's just wrong. Like, it's illegal. You're not supposed to do it. People do it. And I think people think that that's not a big problem online because maybe it doesn't feel like real money to people, or it doesn't feel like it's as important, or people's views about what they're doing are different. Like, they're just living their life and you're just invested in it. Like, well, okay, but then you made your life a product. Now people have paid for it. So now you're liable to give that product over. It's not just your thoughts about it. I've seen this on Patreon before too, people promising a lot of things and then just not delivering it. I've explained my thoughts on that before too. If you have it listed in the rewards tier, there is no reason I shouldn't see it. If I've paid for it, it should be in there. No excuses. And if you have a great excuse, take it out of your rewards tier. Like, it's not any deeper than that. It's business. And people can get in a lot of trouble for that and have gotten a lot of trouble for that. At the very least, I've seen people get reported to the Better Business Bureau, people just being left bad reviews or word of mouth reviews that are just terrible, and sometimes rightfully so. I mean, no one likes to feel like they've paid for something that they didn't get. And now that I live in America, you can refund almost anything. So there's a different sentiment here too. Like in Australia, I'll order something and I'll take a chance on a meal I don't know if I'll like or not. I'll get it, I might not like it, might half finish it and be like, well, I won't get that again. In America, I could finish the whole thing and be like, I didn't like that, take that off my bill. For the most part, they'll do it. It's so crazy. I've never seen anything like it. So the consumer response here is very, very different. And I feel like the absolute most insane expectations are put on someone who's selling to an American. So no offense to Americans, it's the way you are. We love it. It's a lot, but it's fine. I just think of that when I'm putting out like, hey, join my Patreon. There's a video every week. There's 2 videos every week. You're going to get the 2 videos every week because the last thing I want to experience is having someone go down that journey with me. And I've had people be upset for things I haven't even promised before. So I can only imagine how much of a response I'd get for the things that I actually said I would give people and not follow through. But that has happened before on YouTube, and I've seen that happen in communities, and it devolves the same way you think it does. A lot of people silently leave. A lot of people silently leave with really bad feelings. A lot of people that they share in other places, or a lot of people get very confrontational. And it's not, I wouldn't say YouTube's a safe space for anybody. If you're trying to pull a scam or a grift, don't do it on YouTube. I mean, don't do it at all. But if you're going to do it in any place, YouTube, there's a lot of people that just delight in exposing that kind of stuff. And I think rightfully so too. You want to do the wrong thing, sometimes you just got to pay those prices and those consequences. And my mom always said, if you don't want to be in trouble for doing that, then you can't do it, because you can't. Like, it's the only way to not be in trouble for it. You can get away with it, but sometimes then your guilt just kicks in and you're in trouble for it with yourself. It's a whole lot. we're human, I get it, but you can really, not you specifically, but to whoever this resonates with, you can control what you promise to others and make them pay for, and then how you deliver it. You really can. You can take it down to zero and say, do you know what? I'm not the type of person to run an ethical business because I don't give what I offer. Like, I don't actually give what people have paid for. That's on me. I'll stop doing that. And maybe refund the people. I don't know. Whatever you need to do. But that's been an interesting way that people monetize. It gets really scammy that way. And I don't love that, but I do love to watch it all fall apart. I think I've got like, I don't know, I have got a bit of a train wreck pleasure receptor as well. I do like to watch that stuff fall apart. And that's just how I am, I guess. The other type of monetization, I just think you get monetized, you enjoy doing what you're doing, it's not really hurting anybody, it's not really hurting yourself, and you just keep doing it. And I have to say that's just kind of where I've fallen. It's not the most money in the world, I'll be honest. I think, you know, I'll just tell you, where's my analytics? Literally got it here. As of right now, in the last 28 days, I have earned $116.06. I've heard that you're not supposed to talk about that. I don't know if that was a rumor or if that was a real thing. Anyway, it's my money, so I can tell you about it. On YouTube, that's the ad revenue. It's estimated. It will be a little bit more, a little bit less by the time the month ends. But in 28 days, for all the videos that you've been watching, for all the Mermay, for the little extra tutorial, little extra flip through video that I did in the last 28 days, $116.06, which for the amount of effort I put forth, you'd say, hey, that's crazy. Don't do that. It's a really bad way to earn money. And you're right. I could do one day at Disney and make a lot more than that. So it's not something that I do for money. However, it is monetized. And there are other ways, like if you click on one of those Amazon affiliate links in my description box, it puts a little cookie in your browser history so that I think for 30 days it stays active. I don't even really know what I'm talking about, but this is what I heard. And I imagine it's a little chocolate chip cookie. It puts a little cookie in there that says like James's link. And then whatever you do buy off of Amazon within the 30-day window or something, unless you've wiped your history clean, I receive a commission on, which is really insane. Like, I don't even know how people came up with that. You don't even have to buy the thing. Like, if I put a pen link in there, or if I just put my Amazon link in there, once you've clicked it, anything you buy from that, it doesn't cost you any extra. I just get a kickback for it because you clicked my link to go there. And they're like, well, thank you so much for sending a customer our way. Here's some profit from what we made. We'll give some to you. And when that happens over and over and over again, it's almost as much money as I make on YouTube every month. Like, it's kind of insane. So then I pile that together as like, well, these are ways that people engage with my content, but they don't actually have to spend any money, but I do make money. I like that. I think that's the best way, to be honest, to be monetizing the content for a person like me, because I do get some reward for it. I do get financial reward for it, but it doesn't cost you anything. Just your eyes or a click. And I think that's great. I love that. If I could just watch all my friends' videos, like if all my friends just had YouTube channels and made videos, I just play them 24/7 just so I could give them money. Because your view is valuable, your click is valuable, your comment is valuable, and all of those things. I don't try to solicit. I'm not trying to clickbait for it. Like I'm not trying to put up a thumbnail that looks crazy so that people will click in there. I trust that I have the audience that I have because I've been consistent over the years, and I just genuinely offer the things that I enjoy, and it's a very niche part of a community that I just show up to, and so it all feels very organic and very natural. It doesn't feel like money hungry, grubby, like give me. It doesn't feel scammy. I've not promised anyone anything that they're losing out on. No one's given me money for anything. It's just your time and your eyes and your finger click, like all of that, for me, has been the most enjoyable way to be monetized through YouTube specifically, but kind of overall. And you know what? Maybe because it's been a very conservative amount for the years that I've been on here, and it's always been around $100 and something a month. Like even at my best, it's maybe I think I got like $400 or $500 a month one Christmas. Christmas, they give you a lot more money because it's peak advertising season. The start of the year, they really don't. But like at the best, like I think that was about it. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's always been a conservative enough amount that it's never encouraged me to change anything. Maybe that was the wrong thing. Maybe I should have changed it to try and earn more, but that's not what I'm here for. I think maybe this video has made it clear. YouTube is not the place where I see dollar signs for me. It's a place where I really can come on here to share for free. I can upload as many videos as I want. I'm doing them daily here. They don't charge me to do that. I've never had to pay a setup fee to YouTube. Obviously, they take their cut of ad revenue. I don't care. It was never my money to begin with. But yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting process. If you're ever thinking about getting monetized, hopefully these things are interesting for you to hear about. Always keep in mind that it's in your control, and try not to do anything that would be bad for you that you could be seriously rewarded for, because I'm sure that's a hard thing to say no to. Like I said yesterday, if I really did get on here and I started, yelling every day and venting every day, and it made me thousands and thousands of dollars, if I made $20,000 a month doing it, you can guarantee my channel would become a yelling and screaming channel. But what longevity is there in that? The lady that was making, I don't like to say girl for a full-grown woman, but sometimes I think saying woman sounds so aggressive. I don't know why. The lady that I was watching that made $20,000 a month the views have seriously declined. The engagement has seriously declined. She's in a place now where none of us could have dreamed she'd end up. And at this point, is back to clickbaiting health conditions and eating on camera very frequently to try and earn just a fraction of what people were so excited to watch a couple years ago. So, there's really no longevity in that. You can kind of hit your peak, and then what else you do after that, like, how far do you push it? You can't come back from that. Now, anything that doesn't look like as intense as it was a couple of years ago is just going to look like, you know what I mean? You can only push it further. If you want people to come back and watch, you've got to go further and further and further, and eventually you fall off the cliff. So that's a shame, but that's what happens. And I'll continue to watch all that because it's fascinating to me and it's entertaining and I don't need to get involved, but I love to watch it. It can occupy my whole day. And you know what? I think that was also a part of why I watch it, is because some of these reactions go for 3 hours. Some of the videos go for 2 hours. Some of the reactions to the reactors, because they're having their own side drama, goes for 2 hours. So I can fill an entire day working here, being at my journals, doing all my things, watching this stuff, and I'm just constantly amused and entertained. Like, it's great. I love YouTube for that. And thank you so much, YouTube, for hopefully keeping this video monetized, because they will demonetize it if you say things you're not supposed to. I don't know if I'm supposed to have shared my money. It's whatever. I don't care that you know it. I'm sure I've shared it before, but sorry, YouTube, if I wasn't supposed to. Please let me keep it. I don't care. It's like, I mean, if you did the math, this video is probably what, $2 to $3? I'll go figure out another way to get $2 or $3. Just won't buy a coffee today. There you go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed Mermaid Day 19 and these Magella mermaids. I will see you again tomorrow for Day 20. Bye.